Hi, everyone. Today we are talking about agribusiness, about growing food and creating jobs. I'm here with two experts from the world of agriculture, Chege Kirundi, chairman of the Kenya Tea Development Agency, and Nidhi Pant from S4S Technologies. Tell us a little bit about both of your backgrounds in agribusiness, the work you're already doing to improve the prosperity of farmers and promote job creation with the support of the World Bank Group. I'll start with you, Nidhi.
Hello, my name is Nidhi Pant, and at S4S, we are empowering smallholder women farmers to become food processors. So, we start by providing them with renewable energy powered food processing equipment so that they can process the surplus produce which would otherwise go waste or for which they would get lower price. So basically, instead of selling a tomato, they can now sell tomato ketchup, and through this they can access more higher valued markets and capture more value for their produce. So we are working with 5,000 women entrepreneurs, and they earn an additional income and additional profit of $1,000 to $5,000 based on how much they process. So we are first preventing the food from getting wasted, creating more jobs and entrepreneurship opportunities for women, and at the same time providing more sustainable food ingredients to food and beverage industry.
That's fantastic. Chege, please tell us more about your business as well.
Our business is tea. Our organization is owned by 700,000 tea growers, small scale tea growers, averaging about 0.5 of an acre each. And our principle is aggregation. We aggregate tea from these small scale growers. So we transport the tea to Mombasa, which is the exit port. Then we warehouse it and export to the world. We are the biggest exporters of tea in the world. So the smallholder cannot reach the market without aggregation. So we aggregate this for them and help them in the value chain, which they own. So we are many, and we run across the country.
Nidhi, tell us a little bit more about the importance of energizing women and entrepreneurs in the agribusiness sector.
I would like to start by giving an example of Rekha Tai, who we work with. She has a child who's of special needs and also a daughter. So before we started working with her, her daughter was taking care of this young boy and was not able to go to school because Rekha Tai had to work as a daily wage worker at someone else's farm. We used to leave her home at 5 a.m. and only be back by 7 p.m. When she started working with us, she not only started earning an assured additional income, but what it brought was that her daughter could now go to school as she was able to have an opportunity created at the village level, started working at her home. She could set up her own processing unit at very close to the farm at her home itself, and she had more control over her time. For us, an important way to energizing these women is to create everything designed keeping them at the center, focus on creating technologies, markets, and credit work for them, and create opportunities which provide them with dignity as well as financial independence.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. Chege, your organization has already taken over the tea industry. I hear you're now expanding into avocados. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and the benefits it brings?
Recently, the avocado has taken the country by storm, and farmers are planting avocado in their tea small estates, and this is becoming a challenge. We see it as a diversification strategy. So the way to protect the ring fence tea is better to use our own aggregation model and our structure to help them to aggregate their avocado and help them to also sell because aggregation will bring in economies of scale and we'll be able to help them to market through our social enterprises. The profits made by avocado will be able to be used to offset the cost in the factory, and therefore the farmer will be able to get his 100% revenue.
And I want to get a little bit into the why. So can you help us understand why is it so important to help farmers get beyond subsistence farming?
Is very, very important. Our farmers depend on tea revenue 100%. So it becomes very important, therefore, to commercialize our tea. And secondly, it is also important that we move the national economy. We are the second largest generators of foreign currency in our country. That speaks volume of our importance in the national economy. The farmer, if he doesn't get enough, of course, he will not continue growing tea. Therefore, need to find ways and means of increasing the revenue for the farmer. Otherwise, the livelihoods of all these farmers will not be catered for. Generating jobs from the farm level to the factory level to logistics to warehousing to exports means that the impact in the economy is also very high. So the farmer is key to growing our economy, and it's also key that he earns enough for his family.
Thank you, Chege. Nidhi, from your experience, what do you believe are the foundational elements needed to create jobs?
First is to look at the context of what we're looking is at a village which has electricity in India, but not necessary that it has enough electricity to power businesses or even start any new manufacturing activity. So it's very important first that the infrastructure needs to be renewable energy powered. It needs to be solar or biomass based power. Second, an important aspect is that when we are having infrastructure growth, we also need to look at the entire ecosystem, which means warehousing solutions. The roads needs to be appropriate so that there is no wastage of the food which is going from one place to another. There needs to be access to ports for farmers to access export markets. So in all first level that we want to see is that an infrastructure is developed adequately. Second is that to fund this infrastructure, it is challenging for farmers to access credit. Just to give you a context that women farmers in India don't hold any collateral, which means land through which they can access any formal banking systems, as most of the land holding is with the brothers or their husbands due to patriarchy. So we need the banks to commit at an affordable rate of interest so that these infrastructure can be created partly by the government, partly by the private sector, and also by the farmers can invest in creating this. So we need affordable financing for smallholder farmers. Currently, when they borrow from non-banking financial institution or the informal money lender, the rate of interest can go as high as 31% per annum, which is very unaffordable for them to have any interest in creating this infrastructure. So according to us, first is a more systemic approach. So have different sectors invest in the infrastructure development. It needs to be powered by clean energy, and it needs to be financed affordably for the farmers.
Nidhi, Chege, thank you so much again. This has been a really insightful conversation. I've learned so much about growing from sustenance farming to commercial farming in both contexts of Kenya and India. And I hope that our viewers have learned as much as I have. Thank you again for joining us.